iHabilitation Canada presents Feel and See Screenshots for iOS.
Hello everyone, this is Tom Dekker, founder of iHabilitation Canada, where we produce the Feel and See screenshot books for iOS. These books are meant to help a blind person who is learning the flat touch screens presented in iOS for the first time, because it's a bit daunting when you reach out and feel nothing but a flat screen. What we've done is to produce a book of 31 screenshots from the most common native iOS apps. The book is available in 3 versions: Braille for the no vision users, large print for the low vision users who still may not be able to see the iPhone screen but can benefit from the diagrams, and a dual mode where Braille and large print are always presented on the same page, which is an excellent resource for sighted people who want to assist blind people in learning their phones. Now, earlier versions of the books that we did through National Braille Press were in Braille and large print, and large print was an important selling feature, so we thought, how can we do books for everyone? So it was easy for the Braille, we just sent them through the Braille embosser, and for the large print, we just sent them through a regular printer. The diagrams were developed in PowerPoint, and we thought, the inclusive version is easy. We'll send the diagrams through the ink printer, and then we'll just simply take those pages and send them through the Braille embosser, and presto, an inclusively designed book with Braille and large print that's flexible for all sorts of situations, while still offering a lower cost Braille version for the blind users and a lower cost large print version for the low vision users. So you may wonder, why is this book useful and how can it be helpful? Well, first of all, we start with descriptions of the controls. For example, down here at the bottom it says jack, mic, and power and speaker, so you can read a label and find the control on the phone. There's the second one, third, like this. So you can find your way around and learn the controls for when you use the device. This was the iPhone diagram. Here are the physical controls for the iPad diagram, and of course it shows the home button down at the bottom. Now, before I ever start teaching a student, so that they're not confused by feeling a touch screen that's completely flat, we start with what's going to happen when they get to the unlock screen. It shows the home button at the bottom. It gives you the idea that the slide to unlock occurs here because there's a line below and above, which indicates that it goes all the way across the screen. In the center, there's descriptive things about what's going to appear when you start using your phone. And at the very top, it shows the taskbar with some abbreviations to show you all the things in the taskbar. If you want to study the abbreviations, you just get out the key. So, for example, here we have N/CS. If you don't know what that means, you just get down to the N's and find out that, in fact, it is the indicator for network or cellular signal. So you can learn the taskbar, network or cellular signal, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and battery level. You learn that about the taskbar from the book, and then you learn that underneath it there's a little square in the center that has the time and the date below it. So now, when I look at the unlock screen for the first time, rather than flicking around and exploring to discover everything, I can go up to the top, and I know
3 of 3 Wi-Fi bars.
There's the status bar. I know that I can look in the center
11:30 a.m.
and find the time
Monday, December 28th.
and the date.
3
Without having looked at the book,
11:30
I would have to flick through the entire status bar
Orientate. Locate. Bluetooth. 100% battery power.
and not even get to the time and date. So I've learned a lot more about the unlock screen just from having looked at the screenshot. The same applies to the home screen. So now, here we have the home screen diagram, and before exploring with the iPhone or iPad, we can look across the top and see that there's a status bar, and we can look and see that there are little squares with letters in each square, which are the names of the icons. We can come back to the key, and this is why the key is an insert, because when you're studying a diagram, you can put the key here, and when you see that ME and FT are here, again, this is because the ME stands for messages if you're using the iPhone, and it stands for FaceTime if you're using the iPad. Now, the reason this book is so helpful and the reason why I developed it is because that it helps people to develop spatial relationships among the icons on the page. For example, if I'm looking at my diagram, I know that I have FaceTime in the corner here, in the top left corner, because it's an iPad, and below it I have contacts. Without this book, if all I know how to do is flick as a beginner,
3 of 3. FaceTime.
I have to flick,
Calendar.
flick,
Photo.
flick,
Camera.
flick,
Contacts. Double tap to open.
that many flicks, and I may not understand that contacts is just below FaceTime. But with the book, I can find out where things are in relation to each other. And what I do with my students is to have them do exercises. For example, find
Clock. 11:39 a.m.
Find the clock. What is to the left of the clock?
Contacts.
Contacts.
Clock.
Go back to the
11:39
clock.
a.m.
What is below the clock?
Double tap to open. Reminders.
Reminders.
Clock.
Go back to
11:39
clock.
a.m.
What is to the right of
Double
clock?
tap. Maps.
Maps.
Double
And by
tap to
doing
open.
exercises like this, you start to develop muscle memory, and with the interaction with voiceover, you start to develop what I like to call ear-hand coordination. And these things take over, and instead of being a user flicking like a string of beads, which is really quite slow, although some people get to do it very quickly, it's still much faster to know where things are on the screen so that you can
App Store.
just find them.
Books. Settings. 1 new item.
See, I know that settings is down at the bottom left. I know I can pop my finger back up and see FaceTime
Double tap to
again.
open.
And that's basically why we've done this. And so when you look at all the other diagrams, as I said, there are 31 of them. There's the clock and mail and the calendar, all the standard apps that you use in the day, just with your basic iPhone. And just to close, we'll let you know that we are also very interested in the idea of developing more Feel and See diagram books. So if you have ideas about apps where you think such a resource might be helpful, we'd love to hear from you at www.iHabilitation.ca. Thanks for listening, and bye for now.